Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to have a chat. There's about 5 subjects that we want to have a chat about and give you some answers on while we have a good walk around the market area down toward Treat Town of on Bacau. It's quite interesting. I also threw in a little surprise for you toward the very end of the video, so make sure that you watch to the end. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's get on with the first subject. So the first one is about price changes sort of in recent years. So only a matter of a few years ago, before Pattaya became so famous on the internet, the prices were incredibly low. And I'm only talking about 9 or 10 years ago. It's not a long time. At that time, bar fines were 200 baht and 300 baht. Long time, not short time. They didn't really do short time much over 10 years ago. That's in beer bars, and about 600 for a long time in go-go bars. And the regular price was beer bars were about 1,000 and go-go's about 1,500. So that is how it used to be, and that's what it really became famous for, and that's where the addiction came from, the original addiction that everyone got. And of course, because of the exchange rate as well, that added another aspect to it. Now, if you then fast forward, only from there around about 3 years or so, because the internet works fast, and those prices nearly doubled. And the main reason was the introduction of the Samsung Galaxy One into Thailand in 2011, which meant that the girls had access to the information highway, and Pattaya started to become much better known than it ever was before. So this in turn started to bring the young, wealthy Koreans, Japanese and Chinese from Hong Kong and Singapore to Pattaya, with their culture of losing face or not losing face. So if they haggled the price with a girl, that was a loss of face to them. It implied they couldn't afford her. So they never did. They used to just accept whatever price they were told. And the girls took advantage of this. They soon figured it out, and they continued to push the prices up through the roof. So an ST price went from about 1,000 up toward 3,000 on average, and that's the way it was going, and higher, until March last year. We all know what happened then, don't we? Now things have changed, and freelancers' prices are less than half that, down to 1K in reality, and even lower sometimes. Now even on the apps, yes, they're asking for more, but they don't stick to it because they're desperate. So 1,000 is the normal ST at the moment, the way it is here. Now what will happen next year, when the tourists start to trickle back, is anyone's guess, but I think you're going to see a gradual rise, as you did before. As more and more customers return, I think the prices are going to start going back up just like they did before. That's what I think. It's only a guess, but that's what I think. Just going on to another subject, live streaming. It's quite a divisive subject in many ways, because you guys are really mixed on it. And you've seen the videos before the lockdown of the groups of girls in size 6 and made in Thailand bars with the big circular lights and the smartphones on the stand, dancing for remote customers in groups as well, the girls. And the customers are buying them drinks at 150 baht for a short of a, shall we say, a clear liquid. tequila looking like. It looks like a tequila. Not sure what it is, but anyway, we'll leave that aside. Now let me tell you a little short story about what happened to a friend of mine just before the last lockdown. He went into a bar in Soy 6, and there was a girl that he liked the look of, and he bought her a drink, and they chatted and everything, and then he bought her a second drink, and he was just about to take her to the room when the mama-san came over to them and said to him and her together in English that there was a couple of remote live stream customers who were asking for the girl on the live stream in another room, and they wanted to buy her a drink, some drinks. And she didn't even ask my friend what his intentions were or anything. She simply took the girl by the hand and dragged her off and said, "You're wanted," on the live stream. And that left my friend fuming. Well, don't think that's going to go down too well. That sort of thing starts happening, do you? At the moment, the boys in brown have stopped all live streaming for COVID reasons, not for any other reasons. But obviously, it will start again the moment the bars reopen, and I can understand that it's necessary at the moment because there's such a lack of customers. That's fine, okay. But the question is, will it continue when Thailand opens up and the customers start to come back? Will there be more situations like that one that occurred to my friend happening? Will that happen again and again? I mean, once the genie is out of the live stream bottle, I don't think this golden goose is gonna get fried for Christmas, do you? I don't think it's gonna get killed. What do you think? So another question which I get quite often is, what is the dark side? It does sound sort of sinister, doesn't it? Like maybe somewhere Darth Vader would live, you know? But basically it only means East Pattaya, across the other side of Sukhumvit Road and the train tracks over near there. And it originally got its name from the fact that there were not many street lights. It's as simple as that. So what's the deal with the dark side? Well, everything's cheaper, as a rule, which includes rents, for houses especially. That's partly why so many expats live over there, because of the cheap housing. And I mean houses, not condos. There are condos over there, but a lot of them like houses. And also it's more like normal life as opposed to the tourist scene. You very rarely see any obvious tourists over there. One of the things that the dark side does have is lots of good restaurants, and there are a few good beer bars. There are no go-go bars. There's a few gents clubs which cater for the expat community, and some very good and cheap food markets. It's a place that you would go to stay if you wanted to live a normal life, not a tourist life. That's what it is. That's what the dark side is. You know, because I do so many condo videos and reviews, of course you're asking me about, can you take girls back? Are there joiner fees? Do you have to pay basically to get the girl in and all this sort of thing? That's the main thing. Now, there are no joiner fees in any condo that I've ever come across, ever. It's not like a hotel. In a hotel, you're just renting a room for a few days or a week or two or whatever. Yeah, so you're just renting their room. With a condo, it's more like it's your own place, because usually you'd rent it sort of longer term for at least a month or more, or multiple months, or 6 months or a year. So you treat it like your own place. And other than obviously being considerate as you would normally with any common consideration for other residents, not being noisy, not being inconsiderate and all that sort of thing, basically you treat it as your own place. There are two different ways that this is dealt with. If there's no security guard, then you have your own key card, so you simply just walk in and take the girl with you. So it's as simple as that. There's no checking ID, there's nothing. If there's a security guard, then it can often be different. The guard will often ask for the girl's ID, or they'll make a copy of it, take a photograph of it. But if they do take the ID, the girl just gets it back and she leaves. Same as a hotel. But usually that's not the case. Usually you can just walk in. Depends on the place really. Some are more strict than others. But you can always take a girl back, and there is no joiner fee whatsoever in any condo at all. Let me just show you the exchange rate while we're here. Much better, isn't it? The baht's definitely dropped quite a lot. Also, on the subject of condos, people have asked about the sort of servicing of condos with regard to bedding and towels and what have you. Now, as a rule, the answer is no. Right? It's not a hotel. However, many condos do offer this service as an extra. I mean, there's some residents, they have a lady comes once or twice a week, and she changes the bedding and the towels, and maybe that might be 200, 300, 400 baht per visit, depending upon how many beds there are and how expensive the woman is to come, you know. But you can do a deal, you can get it at a reasonable price. But usually with most condos there's a sort of a small laundry very close to the condo, because people use it, and expats especially will take the bedding and towels downstairs, and they'll go to the laundry and just they'll have exchange sets, so they'll have maybe 2 sets, and they'll just every week or two or whatever they'll take them down, and they'll just exchange and give one lot in and take one lot out and what have you, and it's quite cheap. It's not a problem, that. But the other thing about the servicing, which with regard to condos, is what happens if, like, the air conditioning or the refrigerator or the TV or something like that breaks down. Well, that varies from condo to condo. It depends on what arrangement you have with the landlord, really. But be aware that an AC unit will always need cleaning and regassing about every 6 months or so. So that is going to be an expense. Before you sign the lease, if you want to save the money, you could speak to the landlord and say, look, whose responsibility is the cleaning and regassing of the AC? Because you know it's going to happen within 6 months. And some landlords will say, well, the tenant must pay. It's your responsibility. Other ones will just say, yes, whenever it happens, whenever it's needed, just give me a call. I'll arrange for someone to come and clean it and regas it and what have you. And that's it. They pay for it. So this can be sorted out beforehand. With regard to, like, things like the television or the refrigerator, if they're new, they shouldn't really tend to be breaking down anyway. But of course, if there's damage, if you knock something over and there's external damage, actual damage, then obviously the landlord's going to want you to pay for it, which is only right. You know? So that's generally what happens with regard to that sort of thing. When we were looking at those exchange rates, it just reminded me of something else which you guys have asked me about, and that's about actual money and what condition the money is in. Well, I learned a long time ago, they do not accept money which is marked or damaged in any way at all. So if you do bring, well, obviously not if, when you come back, you're going to bring money, actual cash, but make sure you order it from the bank before you come. Don't bring used notes that are scruffy and dirty and have pen marks on or pencil, even anything. If they don't look clean and crisp and nearly new, they'll be refused by the exchange booths. You need to be sure they're clean and unmarked. Okay, you can order them from your bank, and also use larger denominations, like, you know, if they're English £50 notes, or Americans like $100 bills or whatever, use larger denominations because you get a better rate. So anyway, that's it. It's time for your little bit of entertainment here. I promised you. Enjoy. Oh yeah. How are you? Where I go? I go walk. Yeah. How you tell that?
19.
19. Yeah, I think so. Where you? Okay guys, I think it's time to end the video there. Just a little bit of fun there that happened during the walkabout I thought I'd include for you. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and like and share and ring the bell. And thank you very much for watching.